All right, Bills Mafia, you know the drill. This team is on a mission. Every practice, every meeting, every rep is about one thing: getting sharper, getting stronger, and putting Buffalo in the absolute best position to deliver the kind of season this city deserves. We've been knocking on the door for years, and now the mission is to finally break through. Before we get into today's big updates, and believe me, there's a lot to unpack, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We're going to be talking about some serious what-if scenarios, key injury concerns, and what it all means for the Bills' path to the Super Bowl. Let's start with something that had my jaw on the floor. GM Brandon Beane dropped a nugget on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast that could have completely changed the NFL landscape this offseason. He hinted at a trade target, a pass rusher, 3 hours away, who just got paid about $40 million this year. Now, you don't need to be an NFL insider to connect the dots here. He's talking about Cleveland Browns superstar Myles Garrett, the same Garrett who reportedly asked for a trade earlier this offseason. Before signing that monster extension, Garrett made it clear he wanted to compete for a Super Bowl, and, let's be honest, pairing him with this Bills defense, that might have been the final piece to tilt the AFC power balance in our favor. Imagine Von Miller mentoring Garrett, Greg Rousseau coming off the edge, and this D-line just hunting quarterbacks like Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow. It didn't happen. Money talks. And $40 million a year shouts loud, but it tells you exactly where Beane's head is at. He's not just trying to make the playoffs. He's looking for moves that would make Buffalo the team to beat. For now, though, the Bills will go into 2025 with the roster we have, which still stacks up among the league's best, but that what if will stick in the back of my mind until January. Unfortunately, the road to the season opener hasn't been all sunshine. The Bills are dealing with what feels like a full-on injury wave right now, and while it's only the preseason, you can't help but keep one eye on that growing list. Dion Dawkins, our anchor on the offensive line, hasn't practiced for 2 straight days. He even left Tuesday's session with trainers. Now, to be fair, he was seen joking, dancing, and singing afterward, which is the most Dion Dawkins thing ever. But missing consecutive practices this close to the season, that's a situation we've got to monitor closely. Then there's Khalil Shakir. The news here is mixed. Yes, he's out for the rest of the preseason. Yes, the ankle injury from that scrimmage a couple of weeks ago is still a factor. But, and this is the important part, Brandon Beane went on the Pat McAfee show and made it clear that Shakir is expected to be ready for Week 1. That's huge, because Shakir's chemistry with Josh Allen is not something you can replicate in a couple of practices. Still, here's the full list of guys who weren't participating at practice. According to ESPN's Alaina Getzenberg, Dion Dawkins, Tylan Grable, Cedric Van Parn Granger, Khalil Shakir, Yalen Virgil, Elijah Moore, Tyrell Shavers, Kem Lewis, McQuell Hairston, Justin Hollins, and Tyler Bass. That's a lot of firepower and depth not on the field right now. Now, if there's a silver lining here, it's that these absences are giving some of the fringe roster guys a real chance to shine. Tyrell Shavers, for example, has been showing out in camp and in that first preseason game. Missing a practice won't tank his chances, but it does open the door for guys like KJ Hamler, Laviska Shenault Jr., and Christian Wilkerson to get extra reps and show the coaches what they can bring. This is where the next man-up mentality really gets tested. The Bills front office has built a roster with layers of depth, and now we're seeing that depth in action. It's not just about making the 53-man roster. It's about proving you can contribute when your number gets called in Week 4, or Week 10, or even the playoffs. The bottom line here is simple. The Bills have to get healthy, and they have to do it fast. September 7th isn't just the start of the season. It's Sunday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry. That's a heavyweight fight right out of the gate. We already know Kansas City is the dragon we've got to slay in January, but before we get there, we've got to be sharp from Week 1 onward. The Ravens aren't going to give us a warm-up game. They're going to come at us full throttle. And if we're down key starters, that's going to make life harder for Josh Allen and this offense. Now, let's get right into it, because the Buffalo Bills have made a massive move, and not everyone is on board with it. On Tuesday morning, fresh off returning to practice on Monday, Pro Bowl running back James Cook inked a 4-year, $48 million extension with a whopping $30 million guaranteed. This wasn't just another signing, this was one of the biggest headlines of the preseason. A move that sends a clear message. The Bills believe James Cook is not only their guy for now, but their guy for the future. If you followed Cook's journey in Buffalo, you know he's been more than just productive. He's been electric. The speed, the vision, the ability to be a game changer in both the run and pass game. He's the type of weapon that keeps defenses on edge, but despite all that, this contract is already generating some serious pushback. And FL analyst Walter Cherepinski of Walter Football didn't hold back. In fact, he gave the deal a harsh D grade, and his reasoning has Bills fans talking. According to Cherepinski, running backs are simply too easy to replace and too prone to injury to justify this kind of payday. In his words, only elite running backs deserve this sort of money. While Cook is a very good player, he certainly is not elite. And that's where the debate starts to heat up. We know the NFL has shifted in recent years. The running back market has been tricky. Teams have been hesitant to hand out big contracts to players at the position because of the physical toll and short shelf life. Look at the recent deals. Kyren Williams of the Rams just signed a 3-year, $33 million deal, and that's still got only a C grade from Cherepinski. Saquon Barkley with the Eagles, that's a rare case. He's in his own tier, but for most running backs, big contracts get big criticism. So where does Cook fit in? Here's the thing, Cook has been more than just a running back for Buffalo. He's been a weapon in the passing game, a spark plug when the offense needs juice, and a consistent threat to break a big play at any moment. And chemistry matters. Josh Allen trusts him. The offense is built to maximize his skill set, and taking him out of the equation could mean losing a major piece of Buffalo's identity. From the Bills' perspective, locking him up now could also be about timing. Running back prices could rise again in a couple of years, and the front office might feel that getting this done early gives them stability and avoids future contract drama. But here's the other side of it. Cherepinski's not entirely wrong about the risk. Running backs take hits on every play. One bad injury can change everything. If Cook misses significant time, this contract could look like a mistake in hindsight. And in a salary cap league, every big deal has a ripple effect. Money spent here means less flexibility elsewhere. The fan reaction has been split. Some are thrilled, saying, finally, the Bills are keeping their own guys. Others are worried this could turn into another example of a team paying big money for a running back, only to regret it later. And here's what makes this fascinating. This isn't just about James Cook. This is about how the NFL values running backs in 2025. We've seen stars like Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, and even Derrick Henry change teams after big contracts didn't pan out the way their franchises hoped. It's become almost a trend. Pay a running back, then watch the production dip or the injuries pile up. But we also have examples where paying a dynamic back pays off big time. Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco, for example, has been worth every penny so far. Could James Cook be Buffalo's version of that success story? One thing's for sure. Cook now has the spotlight squarely on him. With this contract, expectations just skyrocketed. The Bills aren't paying him $48 million to be solid. They're paying him to be special, and for a team chasing a championship. That means big performances in the biggest games, late season pushes, playoff runs, and hopefully a certain Sunday in February. Now, the countdown is on. Training camp's underway. The first preseason games are right around the corner. And James Cook is going to be under the microscope from day one. Every carry, every catch, every big play, and every missed opportunity will be weighed against this contract. So here's where we're at. Brandon Beane's thinking big, like really big. The injury report is longer than any of us want it to be right now. But the timeline for key guys like Shakir is encouraging. The depth players are getting their shot to prove they belong. And week 1 is coming faster than any of us realized. Bills Mafia, I want to hear from you. How would you have felt if the Bills had actually pulled off a Myles Garrett trade? Would that have made us the AFC favorites over Kansas City? And on the injury front, what's your confidence level that this roster will be close to full strength when we take the field against Baltimore? Drop your takes in the comments. Make them bold. Make them passionate. That's what this fan base is all about. And before you head out, hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates, and share this with another member of the Mafia who needs to hear what's going on inside one Bills drive. This is our season. This is our shot, and it's time to get locked in. Go Bills!